Do you ever feel like life is playing tricks on you every day? Traffic jams when you're in a rush, coworkers who seem to be programmed to annoy you, and your phone that decides to run out of battery when you need it the most. It's like the universe is testing your composure. But instead of getting frustrated and wanting to throw everything out the window, why not try a different approach? Today, we're going to talk about an ancient but incredibly useful secret: Stoicism. Yes, it sounds serious, but it's actually the golden key, facing everything life throws at you with a smile on your face. Imagine being able to turn frustrating moments into opportunities to become stronger. And who wouldn't want that? In this video, you'll discover simple yet effective ways to apply this philosophy to your everyday life. No need to read thick philosophy books or become a sage. Just a little change in the way you think is enough. So what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe to never miss a minute of this journey and prepare yourself to become the chillest version of yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand why great minds from ancient times were fascinated by this philosophy. And what's more, you'll have some real-life tricks to deal with life. How to control your emotion. Become a mental ninja in any situation. Have you ever felt like you're in an action movie where you're the main character, and if someone provokes you, you'll explode like a bomb? We've all been there. When you're stuck in rush hour traffic, when your coworker sends you a nasty email, or when the delivery guy delivers the wrong order. Anger is ready to burst out, right? But hold on a second. Before you turn into a real-life Hulk, let me share with you some tips from the ancient masters on how to control your emotions without having to don a kimono. Let's start by realizing that we all have moments when we feel like punching something. That's perfectly natural. Even Marcus Aurelius, the revered philosopher king, had days when he wanted to scream at someone, and his head burst. But instead of acting on his anger, he chose a different path, one that allowed him to maintain his composure and authority. And that's where Stoicism comes in. It's profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches that while we can't completely control what happens to us, we can control how we react. You see, life is a series of surprises, and not all of them are good. That means you'll encounter bad drivers, lazy coworkers, and rainstorms when you don't have an umbrella. But instead of letting these events make you angry, why not turn them into opportunities to challenge and improve yourself? Think of it this way. The next time someone does something that irritates you, instead of getting angry, stop for a second and ask yourself, do I need to react this way? Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized that anger actually stems from how we judge the situation, not the situation itself. This means that it's not the driver who really angers you, but how you judge their action. Try looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe he was in a hurry because there was an emergency. Or, this is an opportunity for me to practice patience. That's what Marcus did, and you can too. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress your emotions. Instead, it encourages you to understand them. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, you can begin to understand why you feel it and how to deal with it more effectively. This is the key to emotional control. Knowing what triggers your anger and then choosing how to respond wisely. Imagine you're cut off by a car and feel anger rising. Instead of reacting by hitting the gas, a big no-no, pause and think, why am I angry? Is it because of the other driver, or because you believe that all roads in the world should be open to you? The interesting thing is that when you acknowledge and understand your anger, you realize that you don't always need to lose your temper. Instead, you can find calm in even the most stressful situations. And you know what? When you start to control your emotions, you become more empathetic toward others. Think about the people around you, coworkers, your friends, your family. They get angry too, and this empathy will help you understand and handle relationships better. This will not only improve your day-to-day interactions, but it will also deepen your relationships with others. Remember, a lot of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we can't change. Marcus Aurelius once said that true power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You can't control other people's actions, the weather, or the past, but you can control your thoughts, decisions, and action. For example, let's say you're working on a group project and someone doesn't complete an assignment. It's easy to get frustrated and angry, but ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? You can't force your coworkers to work harder, but you can control how you respond. Maybe it's having a frank conversation about expectations or redistributing work within your team. When you change your approach, you not only reduce your own stress, but you also create more positive solutions to the problem. Finally, don't let external events dictate your peace of mind. Focus on what you can control and accept that there are things that are out of your control. Treat each stressful situation as a small test to train yourself to become stronger and more resilient. And hey, if you find these interesting and want to become a mental ninja in every situation, don't forget to sign up. Together, we will continue to explore the secrets to help you live a calmer and more peaceful life, no matter what life throws at you. Have you ever wondered why people keep talking about practicing mindfulness? The answer is simple. Mindfulness is what helps you stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and think before deciding to do something that you might regret later. Yes, that is when you put yourself in control mode, not letting your explosive emotions control your actions, like a race car without brakes. Imagine going to work on a day like any other. You are caught in a stressful meeting. Suddenly, a coworker says something that you disagree with, and for a split second, you feel a surge of anger as if you are about to explode. But wait, instead of letting that emotion overwhelm you and make you say things you shouldn't, try stopping, taking a deep breath and thinking, is it worth it? Do I really want to pick a fight here? Or should I just stay calm? This is where mindfulness comes in, giving you the space to think things through before you act. So how do you practice mindfulness? Sounds simple, but to apply it to your daily life, you need a little patience and some basic techniques. First, try focusing on your breathing whenever you feel stressed, anxious, or angry. That's right, just breathe. But not in a superficial way, but inhale deeply and exhale slowly, feeling each breath bring you back to the present. You'll notice your mind gradually calm down, and negative thoughts will no longer have the power they once had. A more practical way is to practice mindfulness while drinking coffee. It may sound like a small thing, but if you really focus on each step of making and drinking coffee, you will feel more than usual. Imagine you are enjoying your morning cup of coffee. The aroma of the roasted coffee beans, the slight bitterness on the tip of your tongue, and the warm feeling of the cup in your hand. All your senses will participate in this experience, turning it into a meaningful moment instead of just a mindless habit. Mindfulness not only helps you slow down, but also makes everything more profound. It is like you are using a magnifying glass to observe everyday life. Every little detail becomes clearer and more meaningful. And you know what? This practice will help you train your brain to better cope with difficult situations in the future. Imagine you are standing in front of a friend who is terrible communicating. They constantly interrupt you, and every time you try to speak, they jump in mid-sentence. In the past, you might have reacted strongly, maybe even angrily, and raised your voice at them. But with mindfulness, you will realize that maybe they didn't mean to upset you, or maybe they just didn't realize what they were doing. You will stop, take a deep breath, and maybe choose a more appropriate response, gently reminding them so that the conversation can go better for both of you. But life isn't all about controlling your emotions, is it? We also have to learn to deal with changes and unexpected events in life. And this is where mindfulness and stoicism come together to help you find peace in the storms of life. One of the most important lessons of stoicism is impermanence, that nothing lasts forever. Even the most intense emotions will pass, and nothing lasts forever. You may feel angry, anxious, or sad, but remember that these emotions will not last forever. They are just transient states. Mindfulness helps you recognize and accept this, helping you navigate life with less stress and frustration. Think about times when you were upset, because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was because you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for. A relationship ended abruptly, or your health suddenly declined. Our first reaction is often anger or sadness, but if you practice mindfulness and stoicism, you will see these situations through a different lens. you will realize that nothing is permanent, and your frustration or suffering is temporary. This doesn't mean you should ignore your emotions, but rather understand that they are not permanent, and they will pass. But how can we practice accepting impermanence in our daily lives? First, take some time to reflect on the changes around you. Observe how the seasons change, how your emotions change throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations are reminders that change is inevitable. And one way to incorporate this into your life is to adjust how you respond to those changes. Instead of resisting them, learn to accept them as part of the larger flow of life. Think about times when things didn't go as you expected, and then something better came along. Sometimes, it's only in retrospect that we realize that those changes were actually good for us. Stoicism not only asks us to accept impermanence, but also encourages us to find strength in it. Every change and ending is an opportunity to practice our resilience and flexibility. You know what happens when you understand the root cause of your emotions? It gives you greater self-control. When you understand your emotions, you are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are consistent with your values and goals, rather than just reacting out of habit or impulse. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while you are speaking, that is worth exploring. Why do you react that way? It may be because you feel disrespected, or it may reflect a deeper insecurity about whether your voice is being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not only your reactions, but also the beliefs and values behind them. But this is more than just understanding your emotion. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are dependent on our judgments. The good news is that these judgments can be examined and changed. When you feel a strong emotion, try stepping back and asking yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For example, if you are nervous about a presentation, it may be because you believe you have to be perfect to be respected. But is that really true? Perhaps your colleagues would appreciate effort and sincerity more than perfection. This can help reduce your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calm and confidence. Journaling is also an extremely effective tool, understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel the way you do, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not otherwise recognize. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a kind of emotional intelligence over time, making you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust. A friend, a family member, or a mentor. Talking about your feelings can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. Through dialogue, we often come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Stoicism also teaches us the value of patience. But it's not just about waiting. Patience is how we behave while we wait. It is about maintaining our calm and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often beyond our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can make us impatient, from standing in long lines at the grocery store to being stuck in traffic or having to wait for a response from a coworker. Our first reaction may be to feel annoyed or stressed, but this is where Stoicism comes in. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is an opportunity to practice patience, strengthening our ability to remain calm and composed. So how can we develop patience? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and setbacks are natural parts of life, we will be less likely to get upset when they happen. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather adjusting our expectations to the reality that the world won't always work to our liking. Another important approach is to use waiting moments as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting angry about the delay, you can turn it into valuable time. Listen to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns an unpleasant situation into a productive or relaxing one. Mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaged in it, we can escape the sense of urgency and restlessness that often accompanies waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a calm state of mind, which helps us resist impatience. Finally, celebrate small victories to develop patience. When you manage to stay calm in a situation that would normally cause you to lose patience, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we treat others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Thank you for joining me today. Remember that every small step toward mastering your emotions is a step toward a more peaceful life. Don't forget to like and follow for more to continue our exciting Stoic journey with us. We're not just learning, we're transforming, and you deserve a happier, lighter, more meaningful life.